Africa is on track to become a global tech powerhouse. But to scale solutions that serve more people faster, we must embrace design first thinking. Now, UI UX design, centered on user needs and cultural relevance, is at the core of this transformation. Joining us to break this down is Mayowa Akanbi, UI UX designer and co-founder of Accomdium, a seasoned designer and innovator in Nigeria's tech space. Many thanks for joining us on Business Insight, Mayowa.
Good morning, Justin.
It is indeed a pleasure. Yeah. So let's break it down, for viewers at home. Now, how would you explain UI UX design in simple, relatable terms?
Okay. Thank you, Justin, for that question. So I'll try to bring in simplicity and also trying to add depth to the understanding of what UI is. So generally, there are two different entities, but existing in the same world. They complement each other. So in our own world, there won't be UI without UX. There won't be UX without UI, right? So there's the acronym of UI means user interface, while UX means user experience. Yeah. So UI means the what's it called, the what you can see, the look, while UX means the feel. So take for example, I want to bring it down to so you visiting a restaurant and the moment you are entering, what you can see from the lights, the ambience, the menu, the decoration, and table and chair setting and all that. So those are what we call the UI because you can interface with them. So now coming down to user experience, so your feeling, so the process, how it emotes feelings from you. We have different emotions. It can be anger, it can be excitement. So that is more like the UX part, what you can feel. So if, for example, at the end of the day, you are done eating your ordering process, so if there is a glitch or like a pain point through that, the little time you're there, so it can tend to be bad UX, I mean bad experience. But if at the end of the day, the service, you enjoyed it, you were happy, so that can be good user experience. So there is actually a bridge between technology and the people.
So basically, UI UX is from what you can see, through the journey to the destination.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Well said. But why is UI and UX now considered, be a key driver in innovation in tech sector?
Gone are the days when we could use products. I mean, we had a world where technology was not as intensive as it is now. Then going back to our banking application where we didn't even mind the problems we were facing back then. So the UI, you just want to do your transactions, you know what I mean? So but now we're in a world that UI is central. I mean, is a necessity. You need to have it because the market is competitive, and you as a business owner, as a founder, you don't want to be a joke to the people. I mean, people have options now. So if you give them problems, they are going to leave your what's it called, your product, whatever thing you're bringing to the market. So one essential thing about UI UX is it should be problem solving. So if it's problem creation, trust me, that's not market fit. So UI UX is central, is necessary, and is essential in the tech space and the era we are in now.
Now, you've been in this space for quite some time now. So if I may ask, what are some of the common design mistakes you've seen in Nigerian startups?
That's a very wonderful question, and I really hope I can be able to represent my designers at large. Because not only do startups make mistakes, because the mistakes tend to have effects on us as well. I mean, designers, and because we have founders, they just wake up and you have an idea, no clear direction. But there are some certain things you need to do as a business owner. Because for you to come into this space, you need to have a clear direction. I mean, of where you are going, not just thinking, oh, I want to do this. And back then in secondary school, I mean, our economies, we were taught, what's it called, capitalist system, where it's business is solely for profit making, right? But we are now in the world that before you can think of profits as a business owner, you need to think of the users, of the people that will use the product, right? So now we are now in the world that we need startups, founders to have a clear direction of what they intend to achieve. So I'm going to just give out a few points. So and to indicate or identify some of the mistakes they made. So number one is lack of funding, right? And it also seems to be the major problem they face, and in most especially our Nigerian startups.
Okay.
So take for example Opie and Pampi. I mean, see these guys, they are doing amazingly well, since when they launched.
Yeah.
And I think Pampi launched with within the range of $120 billion, right? For their Series A and B funding. So, and also same thing with Opie. I think Opie launched with around 100 million plus. So these guys came to the market, they dominated, and now see they can compete on a global level. So there's a way, and look at our traditional banking apps. Most people, most Uber drivers, anybody uses OP. So that's how. So when you have understanding of a local problem, and you have a clear direction, you go for it. So aside funding, I mean lack of funding as well. So startups, founders don't they think of the futures, right? They just think, I want to bring this to life, but you're not thinking of the users, and the users will affect the design, the interface, the experience of your product. So you need to identify those key things, then that can help you to build products that is market fit.
Okay, I know you just gave an instance of a fintech that is actually making wave in Nigeria, but can you just give maybe more real world example where UIUX directly have impacted business, maybe positively and also negatively?
Yeah. So thank you for that question, Justin. The word is two-sided, good or bad. I mean, whether positive or negative.
Yeah.
So one key thing about UI/UX is that it's good for retention. I mean, users have good experience. Definitely, they are coming around to use your product. So take for example, I think there was a time GT Bank redesigned their interface.
We have to stop mentioning brands because they did not come out, they did not pay for commercials.
Okay. Sorry about that. So I'll try to see.
You just say first generation bank or new generational bank. You don't happen to mention brands.
So, so there was a time one of the banks, traditional banks, did a redesign of their interface, and people were like, "What's going on? Why do we need this and all that?" So that caused a bit of uproar, and people started asking, and what is the what's it called intention behind this? Now, take for example our social platforms. There is concurrent redesign, carrying out user research. You just wake up one morning and you see that there's a future, right? That's to bring in about usability and accessibility at the end of the day. So and also from my own personal experience, there was a time I worked with a startup. So they were having drop off. So I checked, after iterating, and so I noticed where the issue was. So that was from the sign up. So I came up with a design, and from then they started recording massive growth and retention in their product. So UI/UX is really important for businesses, to scale, and for also retention and conversion at the end of the day. So
very interesting. But let's talk about career paths now for the youth, because I know a lot of young people are actually getting into tech and all aspect of the ecosystem. But let's talk about UI/UX as a career path. Is it really viable for the Nigerian youths today?
Wow.
Are they making money? Are they smiling to the bank?
I'm smiling to
the bank.
So UI/UX is a very interesting career, and when I started in 2020. That was COVID-19.
Okay.
I remember my sister just called me. She's in the US. We just waking and eating and sleeping, and I thought of what I could do. So I had just my smartphone, and I learned design. I was interested in UI/UX. But I started as a graphic designer, Pixel Lab. I enrolled with 5,000 naira myself.
Okay. You're deliberate, you had to go for training.
Yes. So I was, curious, I was deliberate. So now if you cannot do UI/UX if you don't have a laptop. So I want to share my personal experience for, designers out there, for people, our youth. So I started watching YouTube. I got resources, but I didn't have a laptop, but I was really intentional about it. So the moment I got my laptop, it's just like the knowledge and the resource, they came together. So then I could scale my career. So, but now youth have access to all these things, laptops. You even have cafe that you can go to, just pay for it and all that. Now we have communities. We have UX Tribe that happens to be a design team lead in UX Tribe. Is one of the top communities we have, where we breed designers. We show them the path and try to see how they can be problem solvers in the society. So we have courses, we have Coursera, free courses and all that. We even have sponsored courses that
youth can have access to. So it's viable, you know, and I think what you just need is you have to be intentional. You need to have a clear direction. Not just that you want to, you know, make money, but you want to be a problem solver in the society.
Okay, no, it's really interesting because as you've said, I don't know if I can still describe myself as a Nigerian youth, but then I know I'm not. We'll forget about the gray and all that. You know, but to be honest, how long did it take you? You said that, you know, during COVID, when most people didn't really know what to do with themselves or what to do with their time, you were very deliberate about what you needed to do next.
Yes.
You know, so but how long would it take maybe someone who just doesn't have any experience, maybe like a layman, you know, to becoming a designer? You know, you talked about training and courses. So how long does this really take in general?
Okay, I mean, logically, we are all designers, you know.
Am I a designer?
You're a designer, Justin.
I haven't designed anything.
I mean, look at a suit, man. Look at the tie and the, you know.
I didn't design the tie.
No, you did. You bringing it together, right? So in our world, we have component elements. We have buttons. We have color. We have text. They all come together. They make our applications mobile, web, and, you know, whatsoever it may be.
So there's a value chain to it.
Yes. So outside of UI/UX, right? Even in our day-to-day activity, I want to leave the house. I want to get dressed. I'm already thinking, what top am I going to put on? What trouser is going to fit with my what's it called, my footwear? So the moment I'm bringing all this together, I'm also designing. Do you understand? So that is me bringing things together. So if you can do that in a normal day-to-day life, so it won't be difficult when you start learning. So learning design is not hard. What is hard is learning to be a problem solver. Within 1 month, 2 months, you can be putting components together and you can design a mobile application, right? So you just need to be able to equip yourself with certain skills, right?
I was going to ask that. Sorry, I have to butt in now. Talking about essential tools and skills. What kind of skills do I need to have? Do I need to be a very tech-savvy person, or do I need to maybe have a degree in computer science or engineering, or maybe just an average journalist like myself, or maybe someone who just wants to learn? Do I need any specific tools or skills before I can actually get into all of this?
All right. Thank you for that question. I think so that's going to help me buttress my points more what I was saying. So as regards to skill, you don't really need to have any.
So anyone can come in?
Anyone. I mean, I've seen doctors, people in different industries learning design. Right, I study political science.
Oh, well, you're
University of Lagos. Yeah.
All right, okay.
I mean, that's why I study. Like, there's no correlation with politics to design, but there's still a way I can bring in design to maybe my future endeavor. Maybe I'm in the political space. I can design an application and be like
something for INEC as well.
Yes, you get the point now. So we have doctors. I have friends. I've seen people come from different, walks of life. They learn design. So that's what even made design to be saturated at this point, because you have to be. It's very competitive, right? So you need these skills to help yourself. So talking about skills that you mentioned, so you need to be a problem solver. If you see, I've been talking more about that. You need to have communication skill. You need to have teamwork, because you have to work with different people. We have developers, project managers, and all that. So you need to also, you should be intentional. Do you get? And also user solving skill. I mean, it's still aligning to problem solving. So you need that. So when it comes to tools, we use Figma. I mean, Figma is a general tool.
What do you call it?
Figma. So that's like where we, just like how a painter has his brush,
the brush and the
his spray and his roller, right? So that's what we use. So within 1 month, 2 months, you can learn this thing. There are courses, there are materials out there to just allow you learn 3 hours in a day.
Okay. I'll be coming to you very soon.
No problem.
To learn. Okay, but let's talk about the finance aspect, because most people want to talk about budgets and the money for it, and most startups, they complain of having lean budgets, and how can they still prioritize a good design or good designs in as much as they might be working on a lean budget?
Okay, so if I get your question right, I want to iterate. So you're talking about business owners having to work on a very small budget, even to create
the UIUX designs.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think, coming from the perspective of a freelancer, I mean, I'm talking for the whole of my designers, fellow designers, because day by day we also face problems from startups, business owners, and that's because when you see passionate designers, they are bringing value to you, right? So at times it's not about the money; it's about being a part of the growth, being a part of products that want to scale, to create solutions. So I've worked with a couple of startups, engage in many products like that. So you don't need to have big money. I mean, you as a startup, a local based startup, you can't compare yourself to to this, I don't want to mention them, but I mentioned them earlier on, where they got a seed fund of $120 million. Where do you want to get that as? Do you understand? But the thing is that you need to start small, right? Once you start small, have the mindset of the kind of product you want to create, make it a problem-solving product, right? Because that is also one thing. When you have a cut-edge solution, there's a way you can bring investors to you, right? So you should not just go into the market because you see other people that you want to compete with, right? So there needs to be like something to make you stand. Do you understand? So I don't want to mention like a certain number. You should just start small,
just
right?
Start from where you
do
are.
what is right. Pay people, as because we've had series of people not getting paid.
Okay,
so you
now
don't have to have millions or so.
But outside of fintech, because most people talk, when you talk UIUX, people still, one thing that comes to mind is fintech. But what other sectors would you think are increasingly recognizing the value of UIUX?
Oh, okay. Thank you for that question. I mean, I've worked across all industries, e-commerce, prop tech, ed tech, health tech, and all that. So these industries I've mentioned have actually been, there's a way they've been inculcating UIUX. Take, for example, this one will be very clear to people at home. When you see our logistic complaint, right, there are so many complaints that, I mean, they do delivery and all that. They have websites. They have mobile app. I go there, I do my delivery and it gets delivered to me. That is them bringing, and the interface is being designed by a UIUX, right? So it's still a way of them bringing it. So I can say, and also prop tech as well is promising as when it comes to adopting UIUX, for their what's called execution and all that. So and the health tech as well, like I earlier mentioned, the agri-tech. So I think we need to do more in that aspect because going by history, because I did history as political science I was. So agriculture, right before we had crude oil, agriculture was our major source of revenue until we had things and in the 70s. So if we can have more technology in that aspect, because people have been talking about because Nigeria happened to be one of the top countries, I don't want to them because of the value we could bring. And now food seems to be something we are really lacking, even as a nation.
We have food insecurity.
Yes, food insecurity. So if we can look, so there are still some industries that they need to catch up. Right, we are not doing our best, but we are improving. So I guess there will be improvements as we go on.
So as we begin to round off now, where do you see the role of UI, UX, heading in Nigeria? Let's say in the next maybe 5 years.
I mean, I want to say it in a very simple, manner.
Okay, go ahead.
UIUX will not just serve the business; it will be the business.
It will be the business.
Yes, it will not serve. It will not only serve the business; it will be the business because we are. No, now take for example AI, artificial intelligence.
Yes. I
mean, it's the what's it called? The economy, the markets. There is a way it has been impacted by by the intrusion of AI.
True.
And it will get to a point that most products would demand more digital products.
All right.
Do you understand? So then it will come at a time that UIUX will be like the headquarter
like
for
the brain box of everything.
Yes, to thrive. So if you're a business owner, because now since 2020, businesses have moved from offline to online. I mean, we have a lot of businesses running online and all that. So UIUX will come to that level. So we are not scared designers. AI cannot replace us. I mean, but if you can use AI, so then definitely you still be in control of it. So UIUX is definitely, so when it comes to Nigeria, I think we are also trying our best, and we happen to be one of the top leading technology countries, even though we still need to catch up with with the trend and all. So yeah, UIUX is a game changer. So we are for it.
Well, you've heard everything. UX isn't just about looking good. It is about making technology work better for people. In the digital age, thoughtful, user-centered design is no longer optional. It is a foundation that needs to be explored. Many thanks, Mayowa, for your time on the show today. We do appreciate it.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you for having me.
All right, so as we wrap up, we'll say, keep building, keep innovating, and join us again on Business Insight for more conversations that shape the future. My name is Justin Akadoni. Many thanks for being there. Bye for now.